All right, guys, so that was the last episode of the Mustang update here. So basically, what happened after that was we fired it right up and put it on the trailer, as you saw in the last update video. And Mark took it over to his buddies so we could do the final tin work. Everybody's like, when are you going to race this thing? When are you going to race this thing? Well, you know, we thought we'd be racing it sooner than this, but the fact of the matter is it has no rear firewall. The fuel tank, which is large, is supported by rubber bungee cords, and the battery isn't held down at all. So if we had to hit the brakes, we'd be eating a battery and spilling a 15-gallon fuel tank all over ourselves. So anyway, it went to Brian Tires, and we reworked, I shouldn't say we, Mark and Brian and John Martin reworked a bunch of the rear tin and put in some supports and we bought a battery box and everything. We never installed it. So the battery box went in, the mounts for the fuel cell went in, and everything else got cleaned up, and they sprayed everything with, because everything was completely rusted and sheet metal tapped in the back of the car. So they cleaned all that stuff up. And then Mark was on vacation, and, you know, like I said before, we're not trying to kill ourselves. We're trying to have fun. So, yeah, we're taking our time. Some of you guys can chill the fuck out. Anyway, let's get on with this. So, car is at Mark's house, and I stopped by the other day after work, and we assess and swap the head gasket, and we'll get into that right now. So I figured since we were doing work at Mark's, I would take the bumper that's been in my attic storage this entire time and finally drop it off and maybe install it. So as you guys can see here, we splurged for the $130, $140 Jegs powder coated black seat to make the car safer and be more comfortable, and use the belts we have already with the car. It came with 5 points, but it came with like plastic tractor seats or something. So we stuffed these guys in there, and I just wanted to show pictures of what Mark did. They tied it into 4 points in the floor and 1 point to the roll bar, and we're welding the tabs in to do the 5-point harness, make everything legal and safe, obviously. So next on was tearing the motor down. So here, obviously, we just blitzed off the accessories and the intake and took off the stock iron manifold and ripped the head off to investigate what happened to the head gasket.
And let's see what we got here.
So we got the paper head gasket side that blew out. We're going to see. I think it was because of a fuel starvation issue. Or it just popped the paper out. Yeah, boy. That blew that paper out hard. Cylinder head looks okay. Yeah, it just, I've never failed a paper like that. I've torched a cylinder head clean, but man, oh yeah, this side was just weak too.
Yep.
We'll put a Steely on there and we'll brush this guy up and
Steely Dan,
put
baby.
it right back on. It looks filthy because it had muddy ass coolant in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely didn't hurt it.
It's good.
Once I saw that plug was okay, I was like, yes. Yeah, so we'll throw the steel head gasket on, and hey guys, do you think that was an issue?
What do you think, guys?
I was gonna take a picture of it.
Oh, are you?
Oh well, just pull it out. We'll take a picture of it on the floor.
I was gonna hold it up.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, Houdini. It always has trouble focusing if something's like that. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it looks good. Looks fine.
We're just gonna fix it. We're just gonna burn this back and get some wire.
Yeah, put some welding wire on it, stuck it right back on there.
Look at that. Yeah,
just pushed it right out. Well, there is a horsepower limit on those apparently. I
That's it.
never tried that hard with papers before. All right. So, very honestly, I was happy to see this because it had completely ruined this head gasket and not ruined the block or the deck or the cylinder head. So it proves that the paper head gasket just couldn't hold up. Also, to be fair, this is a very old gasket. It looks very worn out, and it just looks like fucking soggy bread. So it just annihilated this thing when it came up on cylinder pressure. That ring was looking for support, and it just had no support and just pushed it clean out of the block and did no damage, luckily. You can even see mud still on the cylinder. This piston has mud on it from the muddy junkyard coolant. It makes me laugh so much. So all we did was we cleaned up the head slightly, which I have video here of us just, sanding the deck of the head with a block. And I scraped the block with a putty knife, basically, guys. That's all I ever do. And then we sanded the head to make sure it was flat. It seemed totally true as far as our judgment call. Obviously, we don't have equipment or anything, so you'll just have to take our word on it. So we slammed it back together with one single brand new 5.3 steel head gasket. They're like $35 for the set from Summit, so we only spent like $17, $18 and put the head right back on, put the stock head bolts that were already used right back on, torqued them down to 65, I think I say in the video, and went from there and fired the car and everything else. Urban Race Cars machine job here.
Yeah, we got a new CNC in here. We're gonna just put a skim on these heads.
Make sure they're flat.
Keep it all fucking perfect. There's a high boost application motor on.
Look at that. That's the one that blew out. Definitely flat. It's the same as the other one. Oh yeah, nice and scuffy, no high spots. We're good. We're golden.
That's it.
Ready to go on. Honestly, guys, this is a pretty funny clip of Mark and I just BSing back and forth, but we had the radio on, and I don't want to be copyright striked for the probably $15 I'll make on this video if it gets 15,000 views. But anyway, we're BSing about how much to torque the heads to, and Mark's 1979 Craftsman torque wrench. And like I say, I normally do 65 pounds unless it feels loose. I go to 70 maximum, and Mark was talking about our CNC head decking machine right there, and that's basically it. I start snapping down the head bolts, nice and reused. We got some copper RTV. We have some extremely filthy rockers and covers and iron manifold and all the usual suspects, dirty engine, everything you would expect. And we just blitz this thing back together, and that's the story. There's nothing special going on.
This other one didn't fail. I don't think it's gonna fail.
No. It's clear that it just pushed it clean out. All right, well, we did just the one head gasket. We'll look for fuel leaks real quick. If you want to cycle it a few times.
Yeah.
Listen to how hollow it sounds with all the... Once it primes up, it doesn't do that. I noticed once I changed them. Hear it? You can hear the air now, like, it's so loud. All right, I think everything's plugged in.
Let it rip?
Yeah, let it rip.
to drop the oil first?
I want to change the boost just so it doesn't fucking
Run away on you?
put me into the weeds immediately.
Steve, what up?
How are
You want to go for a hit? I got a pillow I can strap down to the bottom here of the floor. You can sit next to him. How you doing, my man?
Good.
We're doing a sloppy mechanics
How
video.
do, old man?
Hey, good. How are you?
Alright.
This is Mr. Hemhauser from Malibu, twin turbo big block. It's Mr. Happel right here.
Oh, here. You can just use the target right here. I set it to. So I'll go like 14 pounds.
All right.
Fuck. Come on.
Our Holly Dash is sweet. Look at that thing. Man, I'm jelly.
I can't fucking change this one thing.
Take it for a lift and we'll drop the oil.
Brake's still good.
We got the state troopers coming in. It's gonna be like, what the fuck? You guys don't have any lights in that car.
The guy that fixed the gym.
I think Matt's got it in third. No? He got it in first. Got 327 gear. Watch out for the deer, Matty. Don't want to hurt the paint. Don't want to hurt the paint. I got a dent guy right here, though. This is Ryan Ackerman. He runs a dent shop.
Off for the rest of the day.
Off the internet. I hear a Mustang.
So, well, closing thoughts here, boys. I took the car for a drive. I set the boost to like 15 target, and I didn't even get to 8 or 10 pounds, and I was like spinning in high gear, and I was like, man, this car feels pretty fast. So, obviously, I've driven a lot of cars with a lot of different horsepower, and I'm like, this thing's ready to go. We're not even going to put it back on the dyno. Check out this nice still image of the Monkey Fab donated exhaust ring for the car. So, we're basically going to finish up a parachute mount and put the belts in the car, and I think there's like one or two very small things. Check on some wiring, check the oil, stupid things, and then Mark's going to take the parachute off his race car and put it on this just in case we need it as like a, just in case kind of thing. So it'll have the chute, that'll be ready to go. I think we're shooting for next Friday. There's a rental at Atco or Cecil. We would like to go and make like a shakedown. I don't know what that will entail. We'll see how much boost we run. I'd like to go about 20 pounds and make a hit. And if everything goes well, maybe play with the suspension and make some follow-up passes and go for gold, obviously. So we'll see how the car does, see how everything else works out, see how the data logs work, see how the car likes boost. Many things to go on, but that's so approximately, in about a week's time, we'd like to see some results out of this thing. So stay tuned. Hope you guys are enjoying the updates so far. We are still in the 8,000 range. I know people are going nuts about this. Well, I think very few people are just audible jerks about it, but it's still in the 8,000 range, even with the safety equipment. I think when I release the budget, I'm going to say, it costs this without the brand new seat, without the chute, and stuff like that. But I think I have to, I'm going to check the spreadsheet, but I think it'll still be under $9,000, even with the safety equipment, which, in my opinion, Mark and I have families. It's pretty important for us to have the nice seat bolted to the cage, the actual cage, the chute, and rear firewall and things like that. Important. So anyway, hope you guys are liking it so far. Stay tuned, and we'll see how this poor girl does.